Now that I got all that rhubarb that I harvested all washed up, I'm going to be preparing this a few different ways that are not your typical strawberry rhubarb combination. Everything that you're going to be seeing me cook, with the exception of one, I have not tried before. I don't need all of this rhubarb here. This one massive stock just might be enough. I'll get started. I'm just going to give this rhubarb a quick little top and tail. Size I'm going for is around corn kernel size. Now you can go as big or as small as you want. I like smaller pieces. I just need about a cup of this rhubarb all chopped up. This in the bowl. Now hold on to the rest of these ribs because I got a lot more uses for these coming up. Looking for around half of a cup of red onion. I like a bit more onion inside my salsas, so I'm going to add this whole red onion. 2 horizontal slices, nice dice, and leaving the seeds in half of it. One bunch of cilantro. Don't want to be dealing with all of these stems. Those can be pureed up. I'd like to use those later. And the knife do this nice and quick. Nice fine chop. I'm gonna add the zest and the juice of one whole lime here. Now I want to bring in a bit of sweetness. I got some frozen corn, 3 handfuls of frozen sweet corn. Grinding up about a teaspoon each of black pepper and coriander. Can't forget the cumin. About a teaspoon. Some salt. Get this all mixed together. When I tasted it, I added 2 tablespoons of my homemade apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and another couple handfuls of corn. I'm going to cover this and let it hang out in the fridge for a few hours so those flavors get to know each other better. And boom, after that rhubarb corn salsa has hung out in the fridge for a couple of hours, I gotta say this is one of the tastiest uses of rhubarb I've come across in a long time. Some good old wild rice, seared up pork tenderloin, rhubarb corn salsa. Y'all take care. It's a new day, more rhubarb. I'm going to be making some banana rhubarb muffins. I'm going to start off using up the little odds and ends that I didn't finish up with yesterday, and I need a 1.5 cups of rhubarb to start. I'm going to be going in muffins. I'm going to want smaller pieces of rhubarb. I'm going to cut these guys down a little bit more than for the sizes that I used for the salsa. I'll be needing 2 medium bananas. I would prefer them to be a bit riper than this. Let's give these a quick mash. Get this out of the way. Set that aside. Now for the dry ingredients. Start off with 1/3, 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 cup of chopped up almonds. With the dry ingredients, a pinch of salt. This good old whisk up. There we go. Into our wet ingredients. Need 2 large eggs. There's 1 quackleberry, 2 quackleberries. Oops. 1/2 cup of a neutral tasting oil. 1/2 cup of milk. Boom. This recipe does not call for vanilla. I think it belongs. So I'm adding 2 teaspoons. Get all these wet ingredients all incorporated. Bring these dry ingredients back to the party. Oh, stay. Stay. You know what? There. Do this in batches. I'm just dumping it all in because it's all going in the same place. Get all these guys incorporated. And give it a quick little grease. A little bit of neutral oil. Now it's time to fill. Get these close to as evenly filled as possible. Tap and bake these for 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees. Starting to get golden down there on the edges, still light on top. You can whip up a glaze for these guys. I'm going to let them cool. I'm going to taste them, see if I think that they need like a lemon glaze. If not, Cool. If so, cool. And these tasted a little too healthy to me, so I decided to whip up a quick little nutmeg lemon glaze, grated in some nutmeg, zest, and juice of about half of a lemon, and I did this in regular granulated sugar, and since that doesn't melt super well like powdered sugar does, toss it in the oven for a little bit. You can do this on the stovetop, and I drizzled that over the top of those muffins, and boom, that little bit of nutmeggy lemon punch was exactly what these needed. Time for the moment of truth. My next use of rhubarb, I'm going to be making a rhubarb upside down cornmeal cake. Hyphen. Now to get this started, I'm grabbing my 12-inch cast iron skillet and I'm going to melt stick and a half of butter. I need about 12 ounces of the rhubarb to line the bottom of my skillet, fairly consistent. Butter is all melted. I'm going to reserve half of a cup of it. Add half of a cup of brown sugar, whisked in. Once that brown sugar is all melted, line it with that rhubarb curved side down in whatever pattern you would like. I'm going with circles. For the dry ingredients, 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. There's a 1/4 cup. Half of a cup of cornmeal. Teaspoon freshly ground up cardamom. 1 teaspoon of floof powder, that's baking powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of that floof soda, 1/4 of a teaspoon of that ocean, 1 cup of that sugar. Give this the whiskey business. Put that off to the side. Grab the other bowl. Add that half cup of reserved melted butter, half of a cup of buttermilk, 2 quackleberries, 1 teaspoon of that good old Nilla. We'll go with 2. Whiskey business. Get this incorporated with this. Call that good. Smoothed out. Couple of. Now into the oven at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. Looks pretty. Let it hang out for 30 minutes or so until it cools just enough to be able to turn this out. It's best to turn them out while they are still warm, not cold, but you don't want to do it while it's still hot. So I'm going to run a butter knife along the outside edge just to make sure it's nice and released all the way around. Time for the moment of truth. Just a couple pieces stuck to the bottom. Oh yeah. That's a great little picnic cake there. It's not overly sweet. It's just playfully tart, and that cardamom pulls through beautifully. For this next use of rhubarb, it is probably the most classic use of rhubarb that you will see. I'm going to be making a rhubarb custard pie. Now to get started, I need 3 cups of chopped rhubarb, and I'm going to go for like 1/2-inch pieces here. And for these larger ribs, I will cut these in half just to make them a little more manageable. How you chop the rhubarb is how it is going to look on top of the pie, because this rhubarb is going to float on top of the custard mixture. So if you want to do bigger pieces, it can be a little bit more showcasey. However, I'm not a fan of biting into big pieces of rhubarb on top of a pie. There we go. 3 cups of rhubarb. Now this rhubarb just goes directly into the bottom of your prepared pie pan here. Get it smoothed out a little bit just so that way you don't got no big mounds of it hiding. You want even amounts of rhubarb in every bite of pie. There we go. When it comes to making custards, I prefer to use quackleberries over cackleberries because the custard tends to come out thicker and richer, in my opinion. And custards made with duck eggs, I'm just a fan of them more than chicken eggs. And beat those 3 eggs until they are nice and smooth. And a cup and 1/4 of sugar, 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. Get this all good and smooth before moving forward. And 3 tablespoons of flour. 2 and 3. Again, Get this all mixed in before adding the cream so that we don't got to worry about any lumps of flour hiding inside that cream. Finally, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And then just dump this custard base right over the top. Now bake this at 400 degrees for 10 minutes, then drop the temperature down to 350 degrees and finish it for an additional 40 minutes. The center should still look a little bit jiggly in the middle, but it will finish setting as it cools. Boom. Well, I probably got a little bit doner than I wanted it to, so maybe next time that I make this, won't go the full 40 minutes at 350 degrees, but let's see how it looks on the inside. In the fridge, that would sit up a whole lot better. That's a done custard. I'd like this a whole lot more if I wasn't so sick of rhubarb and I got more to cook with. So stay tuned for more rhubarb. I'm so sick of rhubarb. I gotta level with you guys. I am absolutely sick of rhubarb. The only sweet treats I've had for almost 2 weeks now have had rhubarb in them. I was gonna make a lemon rhubarb cake. I don't want that. So I don't waste this rhubarb. I'm going to chop it up, throw it in the freezer. I'll save it for maybe later rhubarb uses. I will be making rhubarb strawberry jam, but my strawberries aren't ready yet. But I'm not making another rhubarb dessert. I don't want it. There's only 2 of us that eat the food in this house. We don't let things go to waste. And this is just one of the realities of eating things that are seasonal, that grow in the garden, is I get sick of them. I'm not cooking with rhubarb. So this has already been washed. I'm going to get rid of the ends here that have started to dry out in the fridge a little bit. Those can go in the compost. And then and this can hang out in the freezer until I'm ready for it again. Oh, I don't even like the smell of it anymore. There. That's the last thing I'm doing with rhubarb, for right now at least.